Here we go. Okay, good evening, everybody. It is November 6th, which is just crazy. And this is our Team Shine team call. And I want to get straight to it. So our speaker is McClellan, and I met her in one of our masterminds with corporate. And we all have just really had the opportunity to collaborate, get to know one another. Oh, it's also another message thread with her with Josh Coates. And I just really, really like her story, who she is. She's so kind and sweet, as you're going to find out. Some of you have heard her when we did our team call series this summer. So I'm just going to give her a quick introduction, and then I'm going to let her take it away. So she is currently a 5-star diamond, 1 star in her second business center, 40 months in SC5, 12 months SC10 plus. She has been ranked in the top 100 all year. She went from 2 business builders last September to having elite locked in of August this year. So she's going to talk a little bit about that happened and kind of what goes along with that to get there. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. So excited. And my little girl is right next to me. So hopefully we don't get lots of interruptions. So excited to talk to you guys about this. This is like one of my favorite things to talk about. I just love talking about what flipped and how I went from where I was to where I am, because I think unfortunately a lot of coaches can relate to where I was. And I want you to know like what's possible. And if just a couple things get fine-tuned and tweaked. So first of all, let's start with kind of where I was. So I think it's always crazy to me to hear like a lead and whatever, because like a year ago, I might have been hitting Success Club, because like she said, I'm 41 months, something like that, Success Club. But I was hitting Success Club on the last day of the month because I was calling family and asking them to buy challenge packs. I was like, Success Club was happening by the skin of my teeth. And it was a non-negotiable for me, and I was going to make it happen, but it was hard to hit Success Club. And, I had no builders. That's not true. I had 2 builders, and I had no elite points, and I had no volume, and my income was going the wrong direction, and everything I was stuck. Everything was stuck. And I had a why, and I was working out, and I was being a product of the product, like I'm doing the things, I'm posting every day, I'm doing all the things they teach us to do. Why am I not growing? Why does this not, apparently this business plays favorites. I just must not be cut out to do this. Maybe this isn't right for me, whatever. And I earned a retreat that my upline hosted. I'm in Micah Folsom's downline. If you are new or live under a rock, she's awesome. She has never finished lower than number 15. She's always been in at least the top 15. She is a double 15 star, so she went the highest rank possible in her original account and her clone, and is in the Million Club, and she's just amazing. And she was hosting a retreat that she opened to her entire downline, which typically when she does retreats, they're just for personally sponsored, and I'm not a personally sponsored coach. But she opened one to her whole downline, so I was invited to come because I had rank advanced 1 past my lifetime because I was able to go 2-star. And it's interesting to hear, wait, I thought you said you only had 2 builders. How did you go 2-star? Because my sister was a builder who had a bigger team than me, and she was diamond, and then my husband was diamond. That's it. Those are my only 2 emeralds I had in my whole freaking tree, and I had like a billion discount coaches. And then obviously if my husband was diamond, he had 2 emeralds. He had my mom with my dad and my stepdad underneath my mom. And then there was one other girl, my other builder, who signed up her mom and her husband and stuck around long enough for us to hit 2-star, and then she quit. That's it. That was my whole business center. But I somehow faked my way to 2-star. and I earned this retreat, and I did not want to go. My husband, I'll talk about this a little bit more. My husband was working out of town, and the last thing I wanted to do was leave my husband, because he was finally home. It was his first weekend in over a month. He was home, and I wanted to actually be home with him. And I was 38 and a half weeks pregnant and knew I was being induced the following Thursday, which meant it was our last weekend as a family of 3 before we were going to have our baby. And so I did not want to go to the retreat. I don't deserve to be there. I'm a fake 2-star. I want to spend time with Jake. I want to spend time with my little girl before she's all of a sudden promoted to a big sister and my attention's diverted. And I was one of those moms who was so scared to have 2 kids because, like, what if I don't love her as much as her? Or what if she feels neglected because I have to take care of her? I had really bad postpartum with my first, so I was super afraid it was going to come back, and I was just a freaking hot mess. And 2 days before the retreat, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I decided to go to the retreat, and sometimes it literally makes me physically sick if I think too much about what would happen to my life if I didn't go, because that retreat changed my life. That weekend changed my life. When I look back on my life on the weekends, that everything changed. It was when I went to that retreat that my life changed. And I want to talk about what it is that changed. So, like I said, 2 days before the retreat, I thought I was going into labor. I was really stressed about the retreat because I didn't want to go, and was stressed because my husband was 6 hours away. He was in another state, and he had been for my entire pregnancy. But I just kind of started playing what if I go into labor? What if she comes? What if? And I got myself so riled up and so stressed, I started having contractions. And I called my midwife, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm in labor. And she was like, I think you might be too. You need to go in and get checked. So I'm freaking out. Can't get a hold of anybody in my family. So I don't know what to do with my little girl. And I call my husband bawling, and I'm like, I need you to come home. I'm in labor. And he's like, I can't come home. I'm sorry. And the road's not done. They're not going to let me leave yet. We're almost done with the road. And at this point, they're not going to let me come home, because I wouldn't be able to turn around and come back, and they can't finish this road without me. So the whole crew would have to stop working. I can't come home. We should be done tomorrow, but I can't come home. And in that moment, I vividly remember the moment that I was like, I'm done. I am done. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with Beachbody, but I'm going to figure it out, because I'm going to figure out how to make this business work. I'm going to figure out how to help him get a new job. I'm going to figure out how to bring him home. I'm going to figure out how to change our life, because I cannot live this life anymore. And he was totally lying. He was in the car on the way home, and he was almost home. And I was so pissed. But I think back to I'm so grateful he lied, because that moment wouldn't have happened if he had been I'm almost there, because that line in the sand happened because he told me he might miss the birth of our child. And I ended up not being in labor. I go to the retreat, but I went to the retreat knowing okay, I need to find my why. So I found a why, and I feel like that's number one. What, baby? Okay, I'll wash them for you. Okay, thank you. I feel like we hear that all the time. You need to find a why. Okay, I'm gonna get real nitty-gritty specific on you. If your why is, I want to inspire people to live a healthy, fulfilling life. If you worked out and you posted it today, congratulations. You did your why. Time to graduate to a bigger one, okay? If your why is that you want to be a good example to your kids, did your kids see you drink Shakeology or eat a vegetable today? Yes? Okay, good. Time to graduate to a new why. Your why needs to be something that is going to push you that you didn't already do. Your why cannot be where you are, because your why is something you're climbing to reach, okay? So my why turned into, I want to bring Jake home. So I would wake up every day. I didn't realize I was doing this at the time, but I would come downstairs and I would visualize it. I'm a big fan of Miracle Morning. And the third paver, the V, stands for visualization. And so I'd come downstairs at my kitchen table, and I would close my eyes, and I would just visualize what it would be like to wake up in the morning and know that he's upstairs, that I did not sleep next to a loaded gun, that he's up there sleeping. And I woke up and rolled over and kissed him and then got up and came downstairs, did my thing. And at night we have dinner together as a family and he helps me put the kids to bed. And then like we get to watch a movie together and then I roll over and kiss him goodnight and then I go to bed and I'm not sleeping next to a loaded gun. Like it was very vivid that there is no more gun in my bed and that what that would be like and what it would be like to have him tell me how much he loves his job and how fulfilled he is and like what that life would look like. And I need to turn my do not disturb on because my phone is like vibrating like crazy. I like visualized the heck out of it. And I pinpointed a specific number that needed to happen in order for me to be able to bring him home so that he could switch jobs. And I thought about that all the time. I visualized it all the time because it wasn't this big, like, I want to have financial freedom for my family. And it wasn't this vision board with 10 perfectly Pinterest collage with the pretty words that I made on Canva. Like one thing, I'm going to picture one thing. What is one thing that I want that is going to push everything else forward? And I had a vision board. I had a big list. It was a screensaver on my phone. I had a big list of all the things I wanted. But Shalene talks about in her book, Push, that you make a list of 10 crazy cool goals. I said that weird. And then you think of one item that is your push goal. That if that one goal happens, it's going to domino and knock all the other ones off. So my push goal was bringing Jake home, because if I worked hard enough to bring Jake home, that meant that my business was growing, which meant I was hitting my business goals. That meant that I was hitting our family goals. That meant we were going to have money for vacations. Like, because in order for me to make enough to bring him home, everything else was going to have to line up with that as well. So I started visualizing that, like as hard as humanly possible. And in January, I hit the number that I had told myself I needed to hit and had like six times my income in 4 months, because I was so determined to figure out how to bring him home and worked that diligently, that hard, that whatever. And then in February, he switched jobs. Yay, loves the new job, whatever. Noticed in March, I'd kind of hit this plateau with my business. So then I was like, okay, well, my why is I want to keep Jake home. And I kept trying to tell myself that, no, that's not a why. Yes, that is still a goal. I do want to keep Jake home, but I need something bigger than that. I need a reason to get up and do my miracle morning when I don't want to. I need a reason to get up when the kids didn't sleep all night. I need a reason to follow my meal plan when I really want to just have a weekend bender and dive face first into Ben & Jerry's. I need a reason to do my workout when I really just don't freaking feel like it and I hate invites. I need a reason to send them. And I don't feel like doing my power hour today. I need a reason. I needed something bigger than I want to keep Jake home, because I'd already hit that. That's like a maintenance why. So we went to Disneyland as a family with my mom in March for my mom's birthday, and my mom paid for it. And she was like, and my little girl, she was just over 4 at the time, kept saying, Mom, when are we going to come back? When are we going to come back? And my husband was like, when you're in college, like, we're never coming back. Like, my husband hates crowds, and he found out how expensive it was. And my husband was like, we are never coming back here. And my little girl kept being like, Mom, when are we coming back? When are we coming back? And I just kept, maybe for your birthday. And she got it in her head real quick. We'd been home for like 3 days that she started telling everybody we're going to Disneyland for my birthday. And I'm like, holy crap, we created a monster. So I pulled out the calendar. Look at the calendar. Her birthday is January 10th. So I looked at the calendar and I said, okay, January 10th. Okay, that gives us like 10 months. We could save enough money to go to Disneyland. But then I realized, January 10th, do you wanna come talk to them about this? Yeah. So January 10th is her birthday, but it's also the second Thursday of the year, which means it's the day they call you to tell you you're elite. So the day the elite call comes is on her birthday. So I told myself, oh my gosh, what if I do it? What if I pull off like the miracle of miracles and I go elite with my, like, no builders. I have like my 2 little builders. My sister has a bigger team than me and my other girl quit the second we went 2-star. What if I figure this out? What if we go elite and we're in Disneyland when they call? and I have my rose gold Disney ears on, and the castle's behind me, and we all have our matching shirts, and I'm in Disneyland when they call to say we hit elite. So I started visualizing that every single day. And so it did not surprise me when I started manifesting builders, and when I started finding people who wanted to do the business with me, and when people started going diamond and my rank started going up, and when we got the elite points, and when my income came up, like when everything started happening, none of it surprised me, because it was so real and vivid in my head that my why had turned into this like monstrous thing that was so real to me that it was real to her. She doesn't know what Brittany Adamson's name from corporate is. She just thinks she's the Disneyland girl. Because when I do corporate calls, I always say we're talking about Disneyland. She's helping me figure out how to go to Disneyland. And Brittany knew that. So whenever she would see Casey, when we got together in person, or when she'd see Casey on a call, she'd say, we're talking about Disneyland. And because Brittany knew that that was something I was pushing for, that my vision was that vivid, that Brittany knew what I was pushing for. And it made it so when I do team calls, when I'm doing my power hour, I don't say, I'm trying to work, leave me alone, and I need to do a team call, can you be quiet? But it's, mom's doing something for Disneyland. Mom's earning some money for Disneyland. Can you go play with your toys for a little bit? And so it made my why real for her. So it made, she's freaking 4. And it made her patient with my business, which made it so I didn't feel that mom guilt of, oh, she's gonna regret or resent how much I'm working my bit. No, she knows I'm working hard so we can go to Disneyland. And it's becoming so real that she knows what we're doing. Nothing has been booked yet, which I'm a procrastinator when it comes to booking, so I need to get on that. But we are going, it's in like 2 months now. The flights are probably 2 months from today. Oh, do you want to turn it off? She knows that we're going to Disneyland we're flying on Sunday, and then where are we going on Monday?
Harry Potter Land.
We're going to go to Harry Potter Land because she's going through a very big Harry Potter phase right now. We were Harry Potter for Halloween. I was Harry Potter, and she was Hermione. And little Emma, who is now 1, was Hedwig, the owl, if you're not familiar with Harry Potter. And then Tuesday, we're going to go to Disneyland. And she's going to go to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and get our hair all done and wear a princess dress and get her princess crown. And then Wednesday, we're going to California Adventures so we can see all the Pixar characters, and that's where Anna and Elsa are. And then Thursday, we're getting the elite call, and we all have our matching shirts picked out already. That for the longest time in my vision, they said best day ever. And then I started thinking I wanted them to say, my, oh my, what a wonderful day. And I was going back and forth between the two. And then I saw a shirt from Inside Out that says, today is a core memory day. And I'm like, no, that is what the shirts need to say. So our shirts say today is a core memory day, and hers has a big glittery 5 on the back. And I'm going to have my rose gold Disney ears, and the castle's going to be behind me, and we're going to get the elite call on Thursday. And then Friday we're coming home, and Saturday is Super Saturday. And at Super Saturday, they have this elite video that they compile of everybody's reactions to getting the elite call. And I'm going to be in that video, because I'm going to be so memorable with my rose gold ears and my family all around me in our matching shirts with the castle behind me.
Mama. Yes, baby.
I cannot hear you. What? Okay, we'll talk about it, okay? I have no idea what she said, but we'll figure that out after the call. I'm going to be so memorable with my matching shirts and my ears and my castle that they're going to put me in the video. So I need to be home for Super Saturday because I'm going to be in this video. And I go to the Super Saturday in Utah, which is also the one Micah goes to, and she's pushing for top 10. So I've added to my visualization that Micah's getting recognized as top 10 because we're going to pull this off. And Inspiration's going to make it happen, and Micah's going to finish in the top 10. And like, this is like taken on its own shape. So, and this matters, I promise. There's a reason I was getting so detailed about this. So number 1, you need to know your why, okay? Number 2, it needs to be like freaking vivid so that it makes you get up, okay? You visualize it as much as humanly possible, okay? Then when you have your vision, then it's like attached to a goal. So part of mine was, it was attached to a lead and it was attached to everything. Okay. Then you figure out what's the biggest roadblock that's in your way. And those are otherwise known as limiting beliefs. So for me, when I thought, okay, what's preventing me from going diamond? What's preventing me from going elite? I had lots of things come up. I don't attract builders. I'm not a good leader. I'm not going to be able to help people go diamond. Like all the mean girl things come out. Okay. So you find, and this is like one of the most freaking important parts of your business. Like, do not skip this step. Figure out your limiting beliefs. Sit down, figure out what your goal is, figure out what the mean girl is telling you that for the reasons why you cannot do this. Okay. When you find the limiting beliefs, you talk them through rationally and you can't do this because you don't attract builders. Okay. Well, I don't attract builders because I don't ever talk about the business. So if I start talking about the business and I start sending invites to the business like I'm supposed to, then I bet you I'll find some builders. So, and if I start telling my challengers about the business, then I bet I'll find some builders. So no, the reason I know why I don't find builders because I don't talk about the business and I don't invite. And I'm not a good leader. Well, the definition of a leader is someone who equips and empowers their team and shows them what's possible. I do that. I hit Success Club. They have all the tools. I'm there for them. I'm doing the things I'm supposed to. So no, I am a good leader. I'm doing what I'm supposed to. And you walk yourself through all your limiting beliefs till you can logically see they do not make sense or they're not true. Okay. Or you find proof of someone who has accomplished it despite your things. So for example, I had a limiting belief for a long time that you can't be successful in this business. No, not with the iPad.
No,
Go put it away.
no, I want it.
Is it even alive? It's dead. No, it's not. That you can't be successful in this business if you don't look like Lindsay Matway and Bonnie Engel and the blonde, perfect Barbie doll. Okay. So then I had to help my brain find proof. No, look at Ashley Smith and Micah. Micah doesn't look like a Barbie. Micah doesn't have a Barbie haircut. Micah's not blonde. And Ashley Smith is a brunette. Ruth Schroner is a redhead. There are other people in this business. Ashley Molstad is like the least trying to act like a Barbie doll person there is, and she's killing it in this business. And that's just the people in the top 10, let alone everybody else. So I listed out in my brain, found a new story, found new proof of why the thing that I was telling myself was the reason I couldn't succeed at this. I found a new story. Okay. Then, I told you can't do it with noise. You want to go sit on the couch with it? Or you can come sit right here next to me in that chair. Okay, well, let's just turn it off. Mom life is a thing. And then you make affirmations, okay? So after you have your limiting beliefs, you've walked them through, logically these don't make sense, you make affirmations. And I've noticed a few things about affirmations. If you have a limiting belief that you cannot be successful in this business because you work full-time and you make a limiting belief about and you make an affirmation about how I am blessed, I am grateful, I am a miracle. None of those touch your limiting belief. Those are not connected. They don't help. Affirmations only work if they're connected to your limiting belief. Sweetheart, you're kind of making me frustrated. Okay. But you have to get down. Okay, go sit on the couch. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you can eat some candy because Mom just wants you to stop talking. I need to be fast or she's going to eat all the candy in her Halloween bucket. So you make affirmations. They have to be connected. So if you're struggling, and I think that's the big thing a lot of people get hung up on.
Mommy, look at that.
I'm so sorry, guys. What, sweetheart?
Look right there, swirling.
It's fine.
Look at that. Wow.
There you go. It's very important that they be connected. And I think a lot of people make the mistake of they start saying affirmations and they're like, I don't feel any different. I don't feel like these are working. Okay, number one, they're either not tied to your limiting belief or they're not tied to an action or both. So I don't tell myself I am an elite coach. That was never an affirmation. I would tell myself I am worthy of elite, I am capable of elite, and I am achieving elite. So that would tell my brain, you can do this. And I had like a big worthiness issue for a long time, that I wasn't worthy of success. So that I am worthy helped me. And the I am achieving elite reminded my brain, you're in the trenches right now. You need to keep showing up right now because you're still in the trenches. So a lot of mine, like about builders, is that because I am confident and lead with positive energy, I attract coaches who are also confident and have positive energy. So I don't just tell myself, I attract coaches who hit SC 500 so I can make a lot of money off of them. Like, I tell myself that I am confident and a positive person, so therefore I attract people like that. And that tells my brain, okay, well, if you want to attract people like that, you better act like this. And it helped me turn into a different person because I rerouted the story in my head, that I told myself who I want to be rather than letting the mean girl in my head tell me who I have been. So and all these things connect. That was the biggest thing I think that was blocking me in my business is, okay, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do my workout and I'm going to do my Shakeology and I'm going to do my meal plan, I'm going to do the containers because Jalen says I'm supposed to and they're hard, but I'm going to do the containers, except I'm not going to eat all my greens. And then, okay, I posted 2 times today on Facebook. Okay, and I did my 20 minutes of personal development. And okay, I did my weekly coach post. And okay, I checked into my challenge group. Yay, I did all my Beachbody stuff. Now I can just go back to my normal life. And instead, everything turned into a domino. So because I want to be an elite coach, I want to be an elite coach because I want to take my family to Disneyland. And I want to get to Disneyland and I want to be in Disneyland when I get that call. And I want to make enough money that I can take my daughter to Disneyland for her 5th birthday and my husband can be there with us and he can actually ask for time off. And it doesn't matter that he doesn't have PTO because I make so freaking much money that it doesn't even matter. And in order for that, what? Yes. And because I work so freaking hard to hit elite, I'm going to show up every single day and I'm going to really crush my time management, because one of my biggest limiting beliefs is that I can't be good at this business as a mom because children are awesome and can be very distracting. And a lot of times time management is like a big thing for me that I clearly can get distracted. And so I tell myself I'm going to be really good with my time management and I'm going to be really focused so that it doesn't take all day and I'm not spending all my time away from my kids. And because I want to crush this business, because I want to succeed, I'm going to crush my workout. I'm going to crush To Be Mindset. I'm going to share something for my personal development that lit my soul on fire as a post on social media. I am going to, and everything turned to this because. So everything makes sense. I don't feel like I have this like separate Beachbody, like, okay, check, did my Beachbody. Now I can be like Ashley. I am Beachbody. Jeff Hill always says Beachbody is not supposed to be your life. It's supposed to give you a life. And I always was like, I don't understand what that means. Or I thought it meant he doesn't want you to work all day. He wants you to like unplug and give yourself some time away from your computer so that you can like be a normal human being that is capable of talking about things besides Beachbody, which I do think that is part of what he meant. But Beachbody gave me my life. My life would not be what it is without Beachbody. My husband is on his way home from work and is going to eat dinner with us, and that would not be a thing if it wasn't for Beachbody. And my little girl who's upstairs sleeping right now literally wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Shakeology, because Shakeology is the only reason my doctor approved me to even have a second child, because my autoimmune disease like magically went away. And where I am in my health, I was like pre-diabetic and at risk for heart attacks, and my dad has every single freaking health disease you can imagine, and I have none of that. And I consistently exercise because I love it, and it got me off antidepressants, and that's because of Beachbody. I hated exercise before Beachbody, and I was on modified suicide watch because I am naturally a very negative person. And because I do so much personal development, because that's part of our job, I'm not that way anymore. And it finally connected in my head a year ago that the vital behaviors that Beachbody is encouraging us to do are the vital behaviors for your life. And the more that I do those things, the more my life will change. And it's just, the more you do, the more it will change. The more you do, the more it will change. So the more PD and the more I'm a product of the product and the more my body changes and the more I help people get results. And the more that what's the other vital behavior? Connect and share and invite and share my story and share what I'm doing. The more I do those things, the more my life will change. And so I stopped trying to do the bare minimum on the vitals. I think that was something I was really struggling with, is I was only doing 15, 20 minutes a day. And I was only doing what I needed to on my containers to pass and show that I was getting results, even though they were pretty slow. And I was jumping around on my program a lot. If I didn't find a program that I loved and connected with, I would jump around a lot and just play around on Beachbody On Demand. And I stopped doing all that and I started going all in on all the vitals, and everything changed. So I think that was kind of everything I had. Do you guys have any questions? I've totally ignored all the thread. Do you guys? I love, love, love questions. Q&A is like all of my heart and soul. So if you guys have questions, I am like all the ears.
I'm going to ask one, but you guys, I so encourage you to please the fact that we have her, she is just unreal. So please take advantage of this. This is why we do these calls. Okay, you had said, I want to make sure I get it right. It took you, was it the 4 months to make 6 times or 6 months to make 4 times your income?
4 months to make 6 times.
Okay,
so I went from 800, I think I was making like 800 a month, to I made 5,000 in January.
A month?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I want to give them like kind of a visual of,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, sometimes they're motivating to hear. So
it motivates me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, and I'm okay with saying that because
amen.
Yeah.
I'm very numbers driven. I like numbers.
It's not so I can have a yacht, but there's a lot of purposes for my family that numbers talk to me. Okay. Yep. I love that you talked, and I know because just working with Josh, the affirmations have been so big, and I have them on Post-it notes on my, in my bedroom. And I noticed I haven't been reading them lately, and it makes a world of difference. So I'm going to give her that. Affirmations are super important. And I want to share something with you about Ashley too, because I met her after she started, she got over her limiting beliefs. But I will say, I've seen them come back in a different way that she didn't see, and then how she overcame that. Because I remember, you probably don't remember this, you're talking about leadership, and you didn't feel like you were worthy to go. Yeah, and I'm like, who are you? You're like this rock star woman. And she felt that way. She's in the Transform 20 group, and she had all these limiting beliefs, and her results from round 1 are killer. I will share them in the team page. So even as a leader and as amazing as she has done, I think I don't care what kind of coach you are, they still can creep back in. But I saw her talk about it, I saw her share it, and then I saw her overcome it. So she didn't let the fact that I don't feel like I deserve to be here stop her from going, so I had to share that too.
Well, and it's so true, because especially with talk about Transform 20 in a second, but with the mom one. So I thought for the longest time that my limiting belief was that I didn't think you could be successful in this business without a nanny, that you had to hire help. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that just wasn't my goal. I was a stay-home mom prior to Beachbody, and success to me wasn't, yay, I run a business and I hire someone to watch my kid. I was already a stay-home mom. I don't want to hire someone to help me with my kids. I was already a stay-home mom. And I never started this with the intention of running a business. And so that was a big hang up for me, because Micah's third little boy is super active, and she built her business without a nanny until him. And he was so active, she needed help. And so she hired a nanny to help with him. And so in my head, I'm like, oh, see, can't be successful, see. And Melanie Mitro admitted that she has one, and Ashley Smith admitted she has one, and I knew Jaylyn had one. And so I'm like, boom, there's my proof. Can't be successful. I have 4 people that proof. It is not possible. Out of the 400,000 Beachbody coaches. I found 4 who have nannies, and therefore you cannot be successful because those 4 have nannies. And Josh at the retreat was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you can totally be successful without a nanny. Get up at 5 in the morning while your kids are asleep and stay up till midnight. You can too be successful. Shut up. You can do this without a nanny. It's easier to do it with a nanny, but you can do it. Don't tell me you can't do this without a nanny. And that was very like, oh. So then my brain started looking for news stories of people who were successful that didn't have nannies, because my brain was, please get down. I don't want you on my lap right now. Oh my goodness. I am not a touchy-feely person. It kills me that she's so cuddly. So I had to find new proof, and I had to find examples of people who were successful that were, that didn't have nannies. And so that's when I fell in love with Miracle Morning. That's when I fell in love with 5-second rule, because it helped me not procrastinate. So I could just get up and get shiz done because I needed to whatever. Anyway, it just occurred to me that the limiting belief is actually that I'm not good with my time, which they're connected. I can see whatever, but I like 4 days ago just hit me that I'm like, that's what my limiting belief is that I'm not good with my time. And so that's why I love books like Miracle Morning and 5-second rule. I've read both of those books like 8 times because they just speak to my soul, because my limiting belief is about time. And that's what, when I look at my affirmations, I had an affirmation on there once about how I'm a good mom, and I took it right off because I was like, I know I'm a good mom. I don't need to tell myself that. I know I'm a good mom, but I have like 6 about my time. And so I'm like, no, duh, like those are there because I know I struggle with my time. So I'm still finding new limiting beliefs. And everything Christine said about Transform 20, like, you had to earn your spot to be in that group. You had to be one of the top, whatever, elite point earners. And that month, I only had a couple coaches hit Success Club, which that's how you earn elite point. One of the ways you earn elite points. But I somehow, it was because I was manifesting that I wanted to be in Transform 20. I visualized the ever living heck out of that. I somehow hit Success Club 60 in August. And so my volume was insane. So I had enough elite points to get me in the group. But I was like, oh, I don't deserve to be here. I don't, like, I'm fake. Like, I faked my way in here. I'm just really good at selling. That's the only reason I'm in here. And I've never finished a Shaun T program before. And so, because Shaun T is like the captain of jumps, and let's do a burpee and spin around and land on your face and do it with one arm and then point your toes while you do it. And don't forget to keep your core in. And like, Shaun is just a little too much for me. That I'm like, I started exercise because I wanted it to be fun, and Shaun is like not fun to me. And so I was like super petrified for this group. And we started day 1. I was really excited I got in there because I had manifested this. It's been on my vision board for like over a year. I want to be in a test group. And I saw what it did to Emily Favre's business when she went from diamond to 15-star in 6 months because of the 80-day obsession test group. And so I was like, dude, I want to be the next Emily Favre. I'm going to crush this test group. I'm going to get in the test group. I'm going to crush it. And I'm going to be the next Emily Favre. And we did day 1. And I was like, what the actual did I sign up for? Like, because you guys will see when you do day 1. It is, I don't know how Shaun can make 20 minutes hurt like he does, but I had all the things come up in my head that were like, you can't do this. You can't, like, you cannot do this. You are going to quit just like you always quit. You are never going to make it through this. And I think my favorite part of Transform 20, I've heard people always say that Shaun is like personal development. And I'm like, no, he's not. All he does is tell you to keep going and dig deeper and keep your core tight. Like, he's not personal development. And this one was the first time that I actually like allowed myself to listen to what he was saying and not tell myself he's not talking to you. When he says you're doing awesome, keep going, he's not talking to you. You suck and you are barely moving. You know he's not talking to you. I didn't let myself go there this time. I told myself, no, he's talking to you. You are doing awesome. Keep going because you're doing awesome. And he talks about how I always call it my inner mean girl, but I almost like Sean's better. He calls it your inner soundtrack. And he would say, what is your inner soundtrack saying right now in this moment? What is your inner soundtrack saying? Say it out loud. And I remember multiple times, absolutely, I have to stop because I was like breaking down, bawling so hard because the inner voice in my head was saying, you can't do this. You suck. You're not capable. This is too hard. You're not good enough for this. Whatever. And like that hurts to say out loud. So it would make me stop and no, that's not true. I can do this and I'm doing this and I can do this. And I would say it out loud. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And my numbers would come up. My reps would come up. And I have like videos. You can see the moment in my head when my head went, no, stop. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can see my body pick up in speed because my inner soundtrack did something different. And I've never been that person. I don't jump. I always follow the modifier because I told myself I couldn't jump until this program because guess what? There's no modifier. There's a modifier that doesn't use a step, but there isn't a let's take out the impact modifier. And so sometimes I had to go slower, but I told myself to actually do it. And I had an absolute Yes, on this page. An absolute meltdown on the day we finished because that pride that came from finishing is only because I know how hard I had to push to get through that. I know how hard that program was, and considering it's only 20 minutes, and considering I did 2B mindset, it should not have been that hard. When you look at it on paper, it's 20 minutes, and I wasn't doing the containers. The containers are not my jam. 2B is life. And so, like, on paper, it shouldn't be that hard, but it's 20 minutes. You go as hard as you can for 20 minutes. You feel like you are gonna, like, throw up your heart, and then you're done until the next day. And it's like, I'm so freaking excited, and it works. Like, your results are nuts. I am the person who does not lose in my hips or my lower stomach or my legs. I think I said hips, or my butt. Like, my pant size, I lost weight in 2012 with Beachbody. I did Turbo Fire, and that year I lost 90 pounds in 2012. The first 60 pounds was one pant size. I lost one pant size, losing 60 pounds because of the way my body loses. I lose top down, and my hips didn't change, my legs didn't change, so my pant size didn't change. And with Transform 20, I only lost like 7 pounds, I think, but my clothes fit completely different. I lost like 4 inches off my hips and 4 inches off my waist and 3 inches off each leg from 6 weeks of 20-minute workouts. Like, it's yeah. But we had, I'm like talking about this so much. When we went to leadership, like Christine talked about, I did not feel like I deserved to go to leadership because I felt like I faked my way there and did not deserve to go to leadership. And so we went, and the week beforehand, everybody in the test group started talking in the group about like, let's all get together and do our Transform 20 workout together in the mornings. And somebody from corporate was like, yeah, go in this room and you guys can do it together. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's like the top of the company. And like, I'm going to work out in a room of like 15 of us. Like, no. So I told myself, oh, you just, you just work out in the room. Don't get behind on the workouts, bring your step, just work out in the room by yourself. And I like had decided I was going to do that. And I acknowledged, like, no, I'm just going to do it by myself. And I don't want to work out with those other people. And I don't need the competition. I'm just going to put my blinders on. And I don't need to see what other people are doing. And I'm just going to be my best. And I don't know, whatever. And then it occurred to me what I was doing. And so I decided to go. And I posted in the group 5 days beforehand that I didn't want to, and I was going to do it anyway so that everybody in my team knew so that they could make sure I showed up, because I did not want to. And that workout was very intimidating. Like, at one point, I don't know how familiar you guys are with Shaun T's people, but at one point in one of the workouts, I had Jessica Bowser Nelson like 4 feet from me, who's the girl who will not stop smiling in Shaun Week. And then the next day I had Danielle Natoni, like 7 feet across from me, who's the modifier in Insanity Max 30. And then I had Tanya Barron 4 feet to the right of me, who's the modifier in T25. Like Shanti's like homies are like next to me. And I still did it. And I beat my numbers. I didn't sit and watch them and count their reps and try to count whatever. I beat my reps. I beat my best self. I stayed in my own freaking lane. And that workout, that sweaty selfie we took of everybody together afterwards is one of my, it is my favorite picture from the whole weekend. I took pictures with Chris. I took pictures with Carl. I took pictures with whatever. And that sweaty selfie with those people in that room is my favorite picture we took because I proved to myself I belong in that room. And I worked hard and no one was sitting there thinking, how did this girl get in here? Who let Ashley, like no one was thinking that. No one was thinking that. It is like, those are the things that your mean girl says in your head that holds you back. And you have to, but I wouldn't have been able to do the workout if I didn't realize that's what my mean girl was telling me. You have to listen to what the mean girl is saying before you can overcome her. So I had to acknowledge that my mean girl was telling me, you can't keep up in that room. You can't, they're going to wonder how you got there. They're going to, someone's going to point out that your form is wrong. Someone's going to whatever. And I had to, no, they're not. Everybody's going to be so focused on not dying. No one's going to care about what I'm doing. And that is so freaking big. So freaking big. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking. Guys, be so excited for Transform 20. It is going to change your freaking lives. Like, I'm so excited. Like, I cannot wait. I'm like, is it December 4th yet? Can we start selling this yet? I'm so excited.
I have another question. You guys, please ask. And I wanted to ask this. How did you transition from, and maybe this will help them, because I go back and forth, because I'm like, and I try to, I need to lead by example, and I tell our team, we're not attracting business builders if we're not talking about the business. But then I can find myself so easily going back, and I'm like, I did my workout post, which is really tricky now being in the test group because people want to see it, but you got to tie it into coaching and the fact that however, how were you able to transition from, because like you said, drinking a shake and doing your workout, that's easy to post. How did you transition from your verbiage, I guess, and how you were able to put that on social media and then create that in your mind to help show your team how to do it? Does that make sense?
So it's Josh. I started doing Josh. So Josh has a posting schedule that I just was like, yes, my brain can do that. So Mondays, you post twice a day. All of the days you post twice a day. And Monday, I might have to write this down and see if I remember it because I haven't followed it word for word in a while. Monday, you post something showing you're on a health and fitness journey. So I think a lot of people take that as a sweaty selfie. It does not have to be a sweaty selfie. It can be a video. It can be Shakeology. It can be Energize. It can be your food. It can be whatever, something showing you're on a health journey, okay? And then you post a lifestyle post. So that can be something about your kids. That can be something about a hobby. That could be something, whatever, a lifestyle post, okay? So that's like a freebie, not Beachbody, okay? Tuesday, you post about the business. And it's a breadcrumb. And I should have said the same thing about Monday. Monday is a breadcrumb. You do not say the words, if you want to do what I'm doing, message me. I have a group starting Monday. None of that. You just say, leg day, holy shiz, I can't stand up. Best way to start my Monday ever. That's it. It does not, it's a breadcrumb. You're just saying you live a healthy life, okay? Tuesday, you breadcrumb the business. And I think the best way to do this, you make a gigantic list of all the reasons why if you woke up tomorrow and Beachbody was a dream, all of this was a dream. None of this was real. It's not like the company just disappeared, because if we found out tomorrow that the company is bankrupt, at least to be mindset, and I guess you don't have the workouts because they're virtual. If you have the DVDs, you still have the workouts, but let's pretend it was a dream. It never existed. Why would you be sad? What would you be sad about? Okay. So for me, I would die without Energize. I would die without Shakeology. I would die without Recover. I freaking love the programs. I hate the gym. I hate going places. I'm a very introverted homebody. And so I love that I can do it from my basement. I love that I can do it whenever I want. I love that there's a modifier in a lot of the workouts because, like I said, I'm not very good at pushing myself to jump, but I'm working on that thanks to Shanti. I love the community. Because I tell myself I don't need friends because I'm an introverted homebody, and that's not true. I need friends. I need other adults because clearly I love my 4-year-old, and I need to talk to other like grown-up tall people. Come here. Okay, they were falling. I was trying to help you. I would miss my income. I would miss my accountability. I would miss having a reason, not that I only work out to post, but like it makes me work out every day because I post. I would miss the push to do personal development. I would miss the vacations. I would miss the trips. I would miss the live workouts. I would miss the trainers. I would miss, like, what would I miss? And I make like a gigantic list of all the things I would miss. And those are the things I talk about when I talk about the business. It is not just talking about your income. I think so many people get hung up on that. You can talk about the products when you're talking about how you love being a coach, because you can talk about how you love that you get a discount on them. And you can talk about how you love that it's your job to like notice the benefits of these things. Okay. So a Tuesday you do something coaching related. Okay. So it can be you went to lunch with your coaches, that you did a team call and you loved it because it gave you people to talk to who were taller than 3 feet, and whatever. It could be whatever you want, okay? And then you do an interaction post. So that can be something where you're like asking people's opinion, or you post something funny, or you do a GIF war, or you do whatever. Something that's gonna get a lot of comments or a lot of likes and reactions and shares because it's something that's funny, like really funny, something that's gonna get lots of interaction on your post, okay? That's Tuesday. Wednesday, you do a live about something motivational, and you do another health and fitness post, okay? Amen. Team is like literal, amen. Team is like legit second family. Like my team, the Diamonds in Jay Lynn's team knew I was having a miscarriage before my mom did, because like I'm that close with my coaches in our team. Like, yeah, amen. Beachbody family. Okay, Wednesday, live about something motivational. And so a lot of times for me when I do lives, I'm talking about something I read in a personal development book. Or you can do them about, like, if you really like hair, you can do a hair tutorial. If you really like cooking, you can show everybody how you made something that you put in your crock pot that's going to be done tonight when your husband gets home, like whatever. Something that lights you up, that you feel like could give people value. Wednesday, you go live, and then you also talk about something health and fitness and do something different than what you did Monday. So if Monday you shared a sweaty selfie in your bathroom and it's like a mirror post, don't do that again Wednesday. Do something different, okay? Thursday, you post about the business, you do another interaction post, okay? Same thing, different day. Friday, you do a progress picture, and the Friday one does have like a, y'all stop watching me, come do this with me. So you say, I have a group starting. If you want info, message me. If you want info, drop an emoji, drop a GIF, drop a whatever, like that. Those are the ones that you're like telling them, I can help you do this, is Friday, and you do a progress picture. It doesn't have to be a week-to-week progress picture all the time. It can be a very beginning to now. Sometimes it can be your face. Sometimes it can be about how you can do more push-ups. It can be about how, like, whatever, progress. You're showing that you're growing, and that tells your brain, shiz, I got to post a progress picture on Friday. I better make sure I'm like staying on point because I have to post one every single freaking week. So progress pictures on Friday, and then you do a lifestyle post Friday. Saturday is freebie. Post about whatever you want, but post twice. Sunday, the morning one, is a freebie, and then Sunday night, you post about the business, and it's a hard post. So you're telling people, like, if you want to come do what I do, come message me. So you're talking about the business in your posts 3 times a week. And you are like in people's news feeds about you do this as a business. So that means when you send somebody an invite, your business is your storefront. When you send an invite to someone that you're like, have you ever thought about doing what I'm doing? They're going to be like, doing what you're doing? What are you doing? And they're going to go look at your profile. And if they don't see in your last 5, 6, 7 posts something about what you do as a coach, they're going to be like, what is she even talking about? So you talk about the benefits and the things you love about Beachbody. And I think sometimes we get so hung up on this business that if we don't make $1 million, that we can't talk about the income. One of my favorite stories is that Danielle Natoni loves talking about how she loved the first time she was able to get gas and didn't have to sit and click the gas thing because she could just set it to go because she could fill her gas tank, okay? Depending on the size of your car, that's probably 1 challenge pack. If you sold 1 challenge pack, you can say that you filled your car without having to think about it, okay? That, like, people are like, that would be awesome. Like, people want that. I remember I did a post when I very first started when I was making like $30, except that week I made a little bit more. And then I took my husband to dinner for our anniversary and I paid for it. And it was super cool that we were able to go to dinner. And I wasn't treating him to something that technically he's the one that earned the money. I earned the money. And some of my big rank advancements that I've had, I do stuff to celebrate that I buy something for him. First time I had a $500 week, I bought Jake a PlayStation 4, a PS4, and because he had wanted one. And I bought Jake a Glock the day I went 3-star because he wanted one. And I wanted to be able to, like, and the Glock was like, I don't know, like $300-400. It's not like I was posting, guys, I bought my husband a $100,000 truck. Like, I bought him a $400 gun. It doesn't have to be these insane things, but I still have people messaging me about those posts. Okay. So, but wait, yeah. So anyway, and then Sunday, the reason you do like a hard post about the business Sunday is because people are thinking, oh, tomorrow's Monday. I don't want to have to go back to work. And so you are in people's newsfeed talking about how you love what you do and you have an option for them if they don't want to have to go back to work. So I post about the business 3 times a week in my posts. And then I talk about it every single day in one form or another in my stories. I usually show a lot of the big like questions I used to get asked is how do you fit it all in? As a mom where you don't have help, how do you get it all in? So I show them how I get it in. I show them Emma's monitor right next to my computer while I'm doing I call it my nap time hustle. Everybody calls it that. I'm not unique, but that I'm working while Emma's asleep. And I show it almost every single day in my stories so they know. And sometimes I'll talk about what it is that I do because people are like, well, what do you do when you do a nap time hustle? But I'll do a story afterwards and I'm like, okay, I cleaned out my inbox. I went through all my applications. I checked in with all my challengers in my group. I got everybody going that's joining my next group. If you want a spot in that group and you didn't get a message from me, make sure you message me. So that people are like, oh, she didn't like invite the whole world. Like, and she just replied like, that sounds normal. I think I could do that. And it's planting in people's heads like what I do as a coach is not hard. And then I make sure and show after I'm done with my nap time hustle that I'm doing something totally different. So they don't see that I'm saying I'm done with my nap time hustle and then I don't post in my stories again for 7 hours. So then they're like, yeah, you said you got it done fast, but you didn't post again for 8 hours. So then I show that we left the house and we went to go to a pumpkin patch. Today we went like up the mountains so we could go throw rocks in a lake. Like I find things to do that get us to show this does not take my whole day. And that's a big part. And I love that because my brain, like I said, it's like the 5th time I've said this, I'm an introverted homebody. I could stay home all day, every day and be totally fine with it. She is a social butterfly. She likes to go places. And so it's hard for her when we stay home all the time. And so the thought in my stories which it just goes to show how like analytical my brain is, but my brain is like, Kate, you're done with your work. You need to show you did something else. Get out of the house. Get out of the house. Go do something. That it tells my brain like, okay, and that will be good for her. And I can spend time with my kids and I can be a good present mom. Let's get out of the house. So sometimes I wake up and I hashtag I timestamp my wake up selfie in the morning when I have my workout clothes every single morning. And the goal is to have the picture taken before 6 a.m. It's usually somewhere in the ballpark of like 5:56, 5:57 by the time I've brushed my teeth. And I cannot tell you how many hundreds of mornings my alarm has gone off and I'm like, I do not want to get up. And then I'm like, but I do not want to miss posting that in my stories. I do not want someone to message me and ask why I didn't post it. So I get up and I like do it for the stories, and it makes me get up. It makes me get my shiz done. So like use stories as accountability to help you, not just to help you do things like with the business, but to help you do things you want to do. I want to be better about leaving the house because it's important to her. So I use stories for accountability. I want to be better about my miracle morning. So I use stories for my accountability. That was like such a weird tangent. Oh, and so you totally asked that and I didn't even see it. Yeah, so I used to do 2 posts a day like I talked about with Josh. I'm starting to transition to 1 a day, especially on Instagram. I think Instagram likes 1 post a day. I think sometimes I'm still getting away with 2 on Facebook. More than anything, it depends on if I feel like there's like something hot on my heart. I think it's really important to acknowledge the energy. And if you have a post that you're like, dude, it's Tuesday, I'm not supposed to share a progress picture till Friday, but screw it, I am posting this today, then do it. And just change the Tuesday and the Friday around. And when you're and if you're like, I do not want to talk about the business today. Today has been a weird day. I do not want to talk about the business. Then don't. Acknowledge your energy. And it is so much better to not post in those situations than to post something when your energy is off and you're negative. And because people want happiness and light and joy, and they want to be around people who inspire them. And if you're posting when you're negative and ornery and pissed off, that is not going to bring people to you. Yes, sweetheart. Daddy's going to be home in just a second. We're probably going to hear the garage like any second. Okay, that was a really good question. I know Dad's taking a long time, huh? That was a good question. Do you guys have any more questions? I think you're muted still.
I thought I unmuted. Sorry. Does anyone have any more questions? Sue always has good questions. Anybody else? I'm going to ask her, I think, Ashley, you say, do you still use that posting schedule?
Sometimes it's always in the back of my head that I'll scroll back through my posts and like, okay, I haven't talked about the business in a minute. I need to post about the business.
But for a, I don't know, like a newer coach or someone that's kind of trying to get into the business, you would highly recommend that, right? Okay. And I think I just messaged you on Facebook. I think I have that somewhere, but if I don't,
I'll write it down.
Okay, and then I can share it with you guys. I know I've shared it before, but we got a lot of new coaches. Okay, and something else I wanted to ask too. So I like how you kind of transitioned about the business because I think that's huge for the whole team. And that's, I'm leading from the pack, so I know that I have to lead by example. No, I'm trying to figure out how to ask this. Okay, so one thing I'm trying to figure out how to ask this. So like sharing your vision, because your vision now, like how do you share, because I've talked about to the team, we had this huge goal of 10-star this year, and it didn't happen, but it's not, I haven't gotten away from that goal. Right? It didn't happen, but it's on my vision board and it's something that's an affirmation. But for someone, and so we talk about pushing for a lead and how important that is as a team effort and so on. But how do you take someone that's newer, if you will, because some of them don't know what that means, or to try to help them have that vision when they're sitting there and they, you got to get started and do the 4 vital behaviors, the end. Like I love what you said. The vital behaviors are not just for coaching, but your life. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. And I love how you talk about you are Beachbody, because I don't think there is, Mel Robbins talks about it in her book too. There is no, it's not one here and one here. Like, this is it. So I think those two are intertwined. How do you instill a belief and a vision into someone that is so new and so just not even thinking that they're capable of? Do you understand what I'm trying to ask?
Yes. So you're talking about Diamond?
I'm talking about someone that just signed up and says they want to get to Diamond, but there's still that kind of not belief that they can do it, or, you know, tries for a day and then, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how you can give them that positive, those positive affirmations and mindset from where they are versus like where you are now. Does that make any sense at all?
Yes, I think so. So I do a few things. My video is so old. I need to update it. But in my team page, the first video they would see when they joined the team and that I would tag them in when I added them to the team page, was like a live I did talking about our team vision for the year. And I filmed it in probably March, that I said I wanted to end the year 10-star, but I don't think I called it that. I talked about how I want to help 10 of you make $1,000 a month. And so that they would watch it and they'd comment and they'd be like, oh, boom, I want to be one of those people. So it let me know okay, this person is wanting to make money with this. I need to really take them under my wing because they want this. And then we have a really solid New Coach University that talks about a lot of that stuff. So it talks about, there's a day about the vitals. There's a day specifically digging into PD with a list of their recommended books. There's the training that Ashley Molstad did at Summit about overcoming your limiting beliefs. And there's Chelsea Blush's national wake up call, Chelsea Pearson, her national wake up call about overcoming objections, and all of those things are in our New Coach University, so that they have, and that's where they start, is there. I kind of got away from, I don't put them in pods anymore. When they very first sign up, I don't put my new coaches in a thread. They don't go in a thread till they're Emerald. So they get invited to the team calls, because I post about the team calls, but their job is to get results and post in the challenge group and to interact and do the trainings until they're Emerald. And then I'll put them in a thread, and then they get some more stuff under their belt. And ever since I tweaked that, they're coming in with okay, show me what to do. Okay, I believe in myself. Okay, I'm working on my affirmations. Okay, I'm working on my goals, because all of that's kind of laid out day by day in our New Coach University. So our New Coach University is trying to think how many posts it is. I think it's 19 or 20. It's pretty long. It's got a lot of stuff in there. But I don't know. Did that answer your question?
It does, yeah, and no, because I think I asked it in a roundabout way, and you answered it in a roundabout way.
Yeah,
so I got it. Okay, it's been long. Does anybody have any more questions before we go? And if we can message them on the team page, because I know we went over an hour, so I'm so sorry. I could listen to Ashley talk all night. Thank you
clearly
so much.
I could talk all night too. I was totally.
No, you're a breath of fresh air. So I appreciate it so much, and I appreciate you guys getting on. I know it's late, I know it's 9:30 for some of you. So thank you guys so much. Ashley, thank you. Thank you all for getting on the call. And everybody have a good night. Thank you. Bye.